Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning homework session for Quantum Leap. This is Monday, March the 10th, 2014. This is Quantum Leap. We are a self-organized learning environment. We are a private environment. This is not a commercial venture. So each morning we come together and do our daily market analysis and homework and set up our trade levels and our targets for the day. So we're going to jump right into it. Now, if you're watching this video on YouTube after the fact, you might want to skip ahead. We go through the same routine, and it starts with the macro to the micro. We look at the key numbers, and we look at where we are within the trend in the, from the macro all the way down to the micro. Then we'll get into some more in-depth chart analysis and then set up our trade levels. But let's get the disclaimer out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the decisions that you make. And you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves the risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, so let's get take a look at the numbers. Obviously, the big thing is we went in and hit that 1887 number. And remember, Howard, had that key target above, which was 1886, and we definitely went and hit that 1886 and just a little. But we now have an all-time high at 1887.50 and a monthly high at 1887 and last week's high at 1887.50. So that's a key level above. Our month low last month was 1832.25. We all know how important that number was. That was right at that prior microcomposite VPOC of the balance area that we broke out of to go make this new high. So this is a number that I'm paying close attention to. Nothing else really jumps out in terms of the macro numbers. So let's take a look at what happened on Friday. Friday opened the Globex at 1876 and a quarter. Had the high put in at 1887.50. The the all-time high at 1887 was put in the Globex. Globex low 1875.50, and we opened the RTH session at 1883.75. We had an open rejection reverse. We broke the IB to one side for a normal variation with a 6.5 point opening swing, very wide opening swing. 84.75 to the high side, 78 and a quarter to the low side. Initial balance high, 84.75. Initial balance low, 74. And again, we're seeing some larger than normal initial balances. Our VPOC shifted to 1875.50, and we closed at 1877.75. Ranges are still running just under or just over 14.5 for the RTH. Just over 17.5 for the full session, and just over 10 for the Globex. And then we had a lower value area on Friday at value area high 78 and a value area low 70.50. I think the key number you got to pay attention to is if we could, that 74, where I see we just broke it and came down to 72.50. Remember, we've got that 71.75. That is the microcomposite VPOC, the two-day microcomposite VPOC. Broke the IB to the low side at 10.02, just outside of the second pocket there. And again, we're seeing slightly higher than normal volume. Going over to the daily report, currently right now with our full session high and full session low, the ATR targets, 20-day ATR targets above us, 1885 and a quarter, below us 1861 and a quarter. And we'll take a look at what that looks like on the composite. We have no scheduled news today, but remember we've got headline news with this whole Ukraine situation, so just be careful today. I just want to go and take a look at the COT. We've been watching the COT. I was noticing that the large spec is now back to net positive, just slightly, but that they are back to net positive. And then retail, small spec has just dropped off. They're still way net positive. Commercial paper continues to get net negative. So kind of we were waiting for this this blow off top and the small spec to be left, and both the large spec and the commercials were getting we're already net negative, but large spec is coming up. But that simply, I think, would be taking advantage of catching a little bit more of this run. And but they are back to net positive. So, could we see some new highs? Yeah, I think we could see some new highs. We're getting awfully close to 1900, and once you get a target in sight, it's hard for those bulls to let them go. So let's take a look at the macro to the micro and the trend. This is the monthly. All my charts, you'll notice, have two moving averages. One is the 9 EMA, one is the 20 SMA. That's the ones I like to watch. And basically just, I'm looking for where we are in terms of the trend against those. You can see that we came down on the monthly, tested the 9 EMA, closed this little technical gap on the monthly, and then we've gone up and made the new high this month at 87.50. We've got good slope and separation. We've gone parabolic, but there's nothing telling me on the monthly that the trend is weakened yet. Same thing on the weekly. We've got slope and separation. We do have a bit of a tech gap with possible Mr. Sneaky, although it is just the first day of the week, so nothing really that tells us anything that this is going to retrace. We do have a possible head and shoulder setting up, so just keep an eye and see if this pattern continues to develop. Going to the daily. Daily shows good slope, good separation. We have this technical gap. A close of the tech gap on the daily is going to be somewhere between 1865 and 1870. I think it's going to be probably at around 1870.50 by the time we get there, and I'll show you why. Going over to the geometric chart, we're back inside this channel of the longer term fork that we've been watching for a very long time. But it really isn't giving me any information. I was playing around with the forks. I see, Melissa, you're in the room today. Maybe we can get together if you've got time later to see where you see the forks lining up, or if you're drawn any new ones in. But again, we've got this technical gap. A close of that gap is going to bring us into that 1865 to 1870 area. We do still have this energy point from the intermediate fork that we're watching that we broke out of, and that would bring us down to test the lower line of the longer term fork at 1839 area. But right now we're just sort of in this channel and going sideways, so not any real good information from looking at that. Let's just take a look at the intraday trends, see where we are. You can see that we're going sideways on the 4-hour and consolidating up here, so there's no trend in the 4-hour. Going down to the 30-minute, we did create a beautiful tech gap, Mr. Sneaky, overnight. You got the tech gap. It's almost a FUBAR tech gap, Mr. Sneaky. There's the inside bar. We come down, close the gap, come down and test the 20 SMA, and currently we are trying to close below the 20 SMA on the 30 minutes. So the we're basically in a consolidation. It's not giving us much information on the 30-minute as well. Let's just go down one more to the 5-minute. 5-minute is telling us a little bit of a different story. We've got slope and separation to the downside. We do have this technical gap right here. A close of that tech gap will bring us likely up into that 1874 area. And that 1874, well, it's actually 1875.50 is the naked VPOC from the Friday session. So let's jump right over to the macro on the composite. So right now we were in this balance around this 1842 area, and then we came up, and the most accepted price before the before we blasted off was up here at 1848. We did have to come back down to this 1832.25. That was the microcomposite VPOC, the longer term balance that we were in for a month between December the 23rd and January the 23rd. Picked up buyers with conviction and didn't look back. We went in, we made the new high. We were talking about how that 56.75 was was a weak high and that we'd likely break it. And so we come up here, we found balance for 2 days up around 1871.50, and then went up, accepted value higher, made the new high, and then we made the new high in Globex. We've been seeing a lot of this. The Globex and the all-time high at was put in on the Globex, and now we have finding balance in around this 1876. I was watching the 74 because I figured if we went below the 74, we'd likely come down to the 71, 75, 72 area, the CHVN right here, to pick up buyers. They did do that just a few minutes ago. Now we're coming up and challenging this 1874.50. Now you can see that we're kind of out of balance right here. We've got the first 2-day value area high at 73.50, and then the current value area high is 74.75. So right now we're kind of fighting between these two little micro composites with the two defining points above and below 71.75 or 71.50 if you want to call it that, and then the one above at 1876.75. I think you really should be looking at this 1874.50, 1874.75 as your dividing line between the two. If we can get above it, look for them to go up and entice the sellers up here in the 76.75. We've got our naked close from Friday at 77.75. But if we stay below this 74, look for them to come down and explore the 71.50 again with a move down to the value area low at 68.50, but it's really 66.50 that you want to keep your eye on. And then below 66.50, look for a rotation down to 63.50 with the other side of balance being at 59.75. But right now I think we're going to get some consolidation and just some rotation in this upper distribution area that we're I don't think they're done. It's my personal opinion. I don't think they're done trying to make new highs. Remember that the open of the year is 1837.75. We finally fought forever to stay above it when we were down here, and now we're in a bull year. And I think that the bulls are going to try to keep us in control and chop us around here. So let's go take a look at what happened overnight. Overnight we have our overnight high at 78.75, and then we have our overnight low down at 67.75. And we have our VPOC for overnight down at 74. We're currently trading right around it right now. All right, so get rid of this. Nothing, pretty balanced overnight, but net inventory overnight is short, and we're struggling with this 74.75 area to get back into this the value area from the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday. So if we've got about 25 minutes or so, we're going to be opening up most likely in balance and in value. So I'm anticipating, you can see that the profile was basically a double distribution day with the LVN here at 78.25, which is just above the 78 value area and just above the naked close at 77.75. So if we open in this area, I'd be very careful in getting into a trade in around here, because I think it's going to be choppy. If you're going to use a level, I would use the 74.50 area. So I'm going to make 74.50 as a trade area, and below that I'd be looking for the first target below at 71.75, 72 area. You can see this little distribution here in the closing swing low is at that 71.75. So they went down there on the close to find buyers, found them, and then rotated back up towards the value area high. Of course, you've got the value area low down here at 70.50 area. I'll be using that as a trade area as well, because if we get below the 70.50, the value area low, I'd be looking for them to come down and test the range low from Friday at 69.75, but more importantly, we've got the naked VPOC at 68.75, and then our overnight low. So the way I would be trading this is off of the 74.50 with, if we hold above on the open and they hold above this, 74.50, then I'd be looking for them to rotate up, take out the 75.50 and the naked close at 78 or 77.75, test the value area high, and then try to take this overnight high out, and with a upward target up here at the 79.75. This is the upper distribution and of the 2-day microcomposite. So that's going to be a target 79.75 above, because I'd be looking for them to take out the overnight low and then push through, and possibly finding responsive sellers stepping in here at 79.75 to retest the close and the value area high from Friday. You could use that as a area to do business with. If we break above the value area high from Friday, look for them to take out the overnight high and hit that target. Of course, if we get some momentum going, look for them to go up and test the 74.75 as your secondary target. I'm sorry, 84.75 as your secondary target above, and a possible breakout of the Friday range, and targeting that all-time high. I've been sick, so my numbers aren't popping out at me. What was the all-time high? 87.75 or 87.50? 87.50. So that will be our extended target above. But really, what I'm looking for is an inside day today where we're chopping in. So just watch your value areas. But play it if you're gonna try to trade inside this inside day. Use 74.50 as your defining line for getting long or short, with 71.75 and 68.75 and 67.75 is your main targets below, and then above the targets we just talked about. The other side of balance below us is down here at 66.50, so that would be an area that I'd be looking for them to hold. And if they come down and take out the overnight high, look for our overnight low. Look for them to hold the 66.50. If they get below 66.50, extended target below is going to be the 63.50. With that naked close at 60.50, and then you've got that naked VPOC down here at 18.57.75, and that would be an extended target for me below. I'm not expecting much more than that today. I really think it's just going to be chop suey in this area as they try to hold this value and hold within this value area. But if they can't hold this value area, they'll come down and try to hold. So I'm looking for either my main two hypotheses is inside days. One being inside, between 74 and this 84.75. secondary hypothesis, if we break below 74, coming down here and chopping around the 71.50 with a push through to the other side of balance down here at 66.50 as as they try to hold inside of this balance area. Let's take a quick look at what that looks like on the Renko right now with Keltner channel. Tested it, center line is 74.75. It's perfect. It lines up perfectly with what I'm defining as the area to trade from today. And then a push through. If we hold above the Keltner center line, tested the upper Keltner line is going to take you up to our primary target up here at 79.75 and this 80.25 upper Keltner line. Break below the 74.50, and then you've got to move down into that 69, and that 69 is right there and around the naked Deepak and the range low from Friday. So really fits well. Let's take a quick look at gold, and then I'll see if Howard has got anything that he wants to share with us. Again, we're watching this, we've been watching this descending, broadening wedge, and this is being a big bottoming pattern on gold. We talked about if we broke above it to look for our initial target, which was up there at that 1315 area. We've got a cup and handle pattern possibly setting up. They're certainly holding the right rim now, but they're really holding this 9 EMA. We have not closed below the 9 EMA, but I am looking for the possibility with this cup pattern coming down to test this 1300 level, break below it, and form the handle, which has got to be down. The minimum to validate the cup and handle pattern is this 1287.50 area, and then all the way down to 1246, which would leave this possible cup and handle still valid. But right now we're holding that 9 EMA pretty strongly. Let's take a look what it looks like on the composite. You can see that we've got a pretty strong balance area right now with the microcomposite being at 1334 and 1334.20 area. We've got this 37, but it's I'm really watching this CLVN now at 46.70. If I can draw it. We'll just put it right there, because then if we break above that, we're outside of the value area high from this microcomposite balance area. The value area high is 43.30, so I'd be looking for them to come up and test the value area high, and then if we break above this 47 line, I'd be looking for them to come up and test the range high and the other key CLVN at 52.25, and again the big targets above are 63.70, 77.40, with the big one being here at 87. If they can't get above this 47, I'm looking for continued chop, but they're likely going to have to come down here and come down and test the balance that they broke out of in around this 1321, which is this minor CLVN. So below us, if they fail to get back above and hold above the 37, look for the return to the VPOC at 34.40 with a test of 28.75, the other side of balance in that CLVN, and also the value area lows right there. And if they break that, look for them to come down to this 1321, 1322 area. So that's what I'm looking at gold. Howard, do you got anything for us this morning?
Sorry, Doug, I got a bit of a late start going here, so I'm not prepared.
Perfectly understandable. Okay, so again, we've got no economic news today. We're going to try to hold balance up in this in these two little distribution areas, and I would use 74 as your defining line, and above it get long into the naked close and the value area high with a target of 79.75 and an extension to 84.50. Below it, rotation back towards 71, 75, 72 area with a push through to the value area low and a possible break below there to take out the naked Depop, test the range low, and take out the overnight low, with possible responsive buyers stepping in here at 66.50. Pretty simple day, just it's going to be choppy, so know where you're wrong quickly and don't get stubborn. Everybody have a wonderful day, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.